Hello, everyone. In today's episode of this great series called Communities Unite, where different kind of communities kind of link up in these awesome episodes. And today's main focus is skydiving, because all of us here have done skydive before, and it's going to be really cool to hear each other's experiences and how they felt about it. Because I imagine, I think Ryan, you might have done it 2 times, or I think you said. So if anyone's done it more than once here, please say.
I've done it twice.
Yeah, you've got it twice. But before we go into any of that, we're just going to all introduce ourselves. So Aston, if I start with you, you do your introduction, please.
My name is Aston Avery. I'm 31 and I have autism, and I have done 1 skydive.
Yeah, well, thank you for coming on again, Aston. I think we did it last year. I think that you came on last.
Yes, indeed, it was last year, talking about autism and what they call enterocolitis, etc.
Yeah, and since then you've been on the chase, haven't you? No,
not the chase.
No, it's pointless, not the chase.
I know, I've got the trophy to prove it. So
yeah. I get mixed up because I was speaking to someone the other day and they said they were in the audience of the chase, so I got a bit mixed up. Yeah, and I even watched that, Ashton. Like when I heard that you were on there, I watched it. So and you won it. So well done.
That's what I said. I've got the trophy to prove it, and I'll probably show you all of you right at the very end anyway for proof.
Yeah, it'd be good. I think that'd be a good way to end it. I think. Well, thanks for coming on again, Ashton.
Well, no problem there, Mason.
Yeah. Ryan, would you mind doing an introduction?
Hey, I'm Ryan. I'm from Atlanta, Georgia, here in the US, and I have autism. And I've loved advocating for the autism community. I've written several articles, was on special books by special kids, and I'm not afraid to put myself out there. And skydiving, it was a dream come true because I was never afraid to go on that plane and jump out because I'm not afraid of heights. Also, this is the shirt I got for a skydive, and check out what it says on the back here.
I jumped out of a
perfectly good
sky airwave. Is it airwave?
Airplane.
Oh, airplane, not airwave. That's really good. You got a top. Yeah, and I liked it.
Yeah, pretty good, huh?
Yeah. I think that's really good. Well, when I done my skydive, I said I jumped out of a plane. I got a shirt and everything as well, so it's good for memory. That is, Ryan.
Oh yeah, it's a good moral. Like falling through the air, it was such a amazing feeling, you know. Yeah. Like just like you just fall down, you're screaming with excitement, and then the parachute, you know.
Definitely. Well, Ryan, thank you for coming on again. I think again it was last year. I think it was actually my birthday I released your episode. It might have been slightly after my birthday I released your episode. So a year ago you're back on here again, Ryan. So thank you for coming on again. Yeah. Mariah.
Hey everybody, I am Mariah and I'm living in San Diego currently, and I am 35 and have IBD and PCOS, and I've skydived once for my 18th birthday and bungee jumped since then, but that's another story.
Yeah, because it's good that you because I think we last did this probably last year, didn't we? It's quite funny because everyone here was on it about probably a year ago, and it's great to have everyone back. Because within the podcast is kind of diverse, talking about different things like IBD as well, and autism. So it's great, Mariah, that you're back and that we can all talk about our experiences. So I think that's a good place to start. So Mariah, you were 18 when you did your skydive. So if we all kind of maybe say when we did it, or our first one, Ryan, as well. So Ashton, when did you do your skydive?
Well, I did my skydive probably not far from here in Essex. It was actually in Norfolk in Beccles back in 2018, and I was 27 at the time when I done it, and it was one of those amazing experiences. But I was doing it in aid, not for charity, but to give someone who's got autism, dystonia, and suffer sadly cerebral palsy, that to give them adaptations to their wheelchair and raise funds for that.
I think that's really good. what did you think of the experience of?
Oh, beforehand, it was just like, oh, going through medical checks, blood tests, blood checks, etc. Didn't need the what they call the blood pressure check, but the blood test I had to have. My mum was, when I said to my mum I was going to like skydive, she was thinking like, you serious about this? And I'm like, yeah, I was serious about it. That she nearly wanted to kill me because she basically didn't want me to do it at first. But at the end of the day, anyone that does it, brilliant experience. I really, really loved it, especially to the point that my dad wanted to push me out the plane when they said no, which was a relief, really.
Yeah, I think it's like really, you get really excited, and then when you fall out, you think, oh look, I'm actually doing it now, and stuff like that.
Yeah, exactly. And that's the thing, really. And I wanted to do it as well and show people with autism, and obviously because I have a colostomy, enterocolitis really came into play. But these barriers can be achieved regardless of what illnesses everyone has and what conditions they've had as well.
Yeah, you can't let having autism or anything hold you back. Not let it hold you back from doing something really adventurous, you know?
Yeah. So, Ryan, when did you do your first skydive?
I did it like in January 2021. Like I did it with one of my best friends named Zach because he's done it a number of times. And you have to pay every time you do it. You have to do it 25 times before you can do it by yourself. And then you have to take a class, which is hundreds of dollars, before you can go solo.
Yeah.
Like 25 times, like I don't know who has that kind of time, whatever. But the thing is, I'm glad I had the experience. I mean, there are some things in life you put off because you think you're going to do them later. But if I've learned anything, is that you got to live like there may not be a later. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Like it's like it's kind of a once in a lifetime opportunity to jump out of a plane, and like it's like the build up to everything. When it gets closer to the date you booked, it kind of gets, I guess you get a little bit nervous as well as being really excited at the same time.
Yeah, so enjoy something while you can.
Yeah. And I can't believe you've done it twice as well, Ryan. So I think
I did it twice.
Yeah.
I can't wait to do it a third time, whenever that'll be.
Yeah. I think it's great. So Mariah, what do you think one of the best parts of skydive is?
So my story is a little bit different. This was honestly like years and years before getting diagnosed with anything. So this was just on my bucket list. I'm 18, I gotta do this, party. So I had my birthday party at the jump zone, and my parents are actually, my dad was a skydiver growing up. So he's had like, I don't know, somewhere between 600 and 1,000 jumps. He used to go every weekend, and they would just go all day, like wrap their pack back up and jump again. So he had always just encouraged extreme sports, I guess. And my mom has actually jumped enough to be certified for solo as well. And so for me, it was just one of those things to kind of follow in their footsteps and have a blast. But I've never been scared of really anything height wise or adrenaline. So I was just excited to go and do it. Everybody was like, "Are you nervous? Are you nervous?" I was like, not at all, honestly. You can see in the DVD that, yes, I'm dating myself. It was a DVD that they gave me a copy of for my skydive. You can see in my face, like as we get to the door, that I was like just not quite sure, but otherwise it's just like pure joy. And my dad had told them to go rough on me before I left. So they were doing like a lot of spins and just crazy stuff all the way down, which was awesome.
Yeah. I think it's great. I guess I'm more recent. I done it in September just gone. For my birthday. So I did it for a charity called Rare Diseases. Because I always do it for Crohn's and Colitis UK, and I felt I needed to do it for someone else. So I did it for Rare Diseases, and I raised quite a lot of money, and then it helped pay for the skydive as well. Part of it paid for it. So if you do it for a charity, part of it can just pay for your kind of skydive too. And I liked it, but I got there about 10 a.m. I did it in Peterborough, which Aston will probably know more because he's from UK too. And I did it there, and it was pretty good. And like the annoying thing was because it was a cloudy day to start off with, and I got all booted up, ready to go, and then but I belted to my guy before I entered the plane, and he said we might be a little while because the clouds aren't too clear yet, so I had to wait a little bit, and then I get on the plane, and then I'm not too nervous. As soon I'm walking on the plane, I'm all right then, and then it's when I sit down that because I've never been on a skydive plane before. They're a bit different to the normal planes you go on holiday. Very small and impactful, like not a lot of room to move, and you've got the I'm trying to belt myself because I think I've got to put a seatbelt on, and then I found, and then my instructor guy says, no, you don't have to do that. You just belt to me, and then I'm first out, going to be first out of the plane, and then what happens is that like I'm thinking they haven't shut the door yet. We're a bit high, and the door's not shut, and then they eventually shut it, and then you get really high, don't you? And then you think you're high enough. You're looking at the plane. You think you're already high enough, and then like my instructor had the watch, and he showed me like how high we were and stuff like that. It gets quite scary to a certain extent, but as soon as you jumped, like that's the only way down.
Oh yeah, I wasn't scared at all.
I wasn't, to be fair. It was just like one of them things, like you get ready to go, out you go, simple as that.
You know what could really happen also when you jump side? If you run into a flock of geese.
Oh yeah, that's the annoying thing, really.
Yes.
Depending how high up you are, that's the thing.
I got the idea because I saw this one time for like on a Harry Potter video, like a fan made video. They were flying on a broom, and the guy's partner was covered in feathers. He was like, sorry about that flock of geese we ran into. I didn't see them.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's likely to happen when you're falling through the air as well.
Yeah. Well, I didn't. Did anyone fall into geese on their way down?
No.
No.
No, but it can happen.
Yeah, it's a good job it didn't to us then. The main thing.
And not to mention, flock of geese can be really violent when they're flying if you run into them.
Yeah,
Easily.
you're going so fast.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, because you do go pretty fast down, don't you? Did you guys it was pretty did you guys think like maybe the free fall was the best part?
Oh yeah, the free falling, yes, but acting out the parachute, yeah, that's a good sensation too. Also, I shouted, this is pretty awesome. My friends said they could hear me from down the ground.
Yeah.
Oh, I can agree with you there, Ryan. I'd say it was absolutely awesome, especially when you're like waiting to go out and they push you out, and you're like, you've got no way back. As soon as you hang your feet above the ledge, yeah, no way back. You're going. Simple as that. You go and they go.
So loud. Yeah, they heard me.
Yeah.
Yeah, you have to, because it's one of them. I really love doing it. Really, like especially like it was like this is fun. I was like learning the whole thing to actually like saying when they had the parachute open, they say, oh, you got to sit in the chair position when they open the parachute, right? And you're like, okay, like that.
Yeah. But one thing we need to talk about, sometimes the landing is not so easy the first time. The first time I did landing, I kind of hurt my tailbone for a bit, and I was sore for a day, but still pretty worth it. How was you guys landing the first time you did it?
Wow. So I'd say it was I was absolutely thrilled to have done it. And my head was like, I want to do it again. That's the simple thing about it. Really wanted to do it again.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. But if I'm doing it multiple times to do it myself, like if I was doing it myself the first time, I'd still be saying, man, you need to work on these landings.
Yeah. My landing was actually pretty good. I was exhausted because it makes you tired doing a skydive. I think and it is hard because especially like you say, the landing is. I guess it's depending how maybe forceful you're going down. Like because I think it when I did it, once I done the free fall, you're virtually stopped, aren't you? And then he instructor says I'm all right. I just said I was like very dizzy, and I think he went slower, which was good in a way because I spent so long. I was first down, one of the last ones down within the group I went with. So
Wow.
it was pretty good.
The actual thing as well, like wise when they tell you to actually land, they say you got to put your legs into like a V shape, if you know what I mean, and make your body into a V as close as you can. Obviously, for someone that does like dance, etc., that's not a problem. But if you haven't done dance, it can be a problem because of flexibility. So that's the fun thing about it. Is like they tell you, oh yeah, go in a V when you're actually landing. Simple as that, and they tell you to put your arms out like that. Amazing, and they just tap you. Simple as that.
Yeah.
They had told me to expect to sit down in the landing, like you're saying, like lift your legs and just kind of glide in and sit. But it ended up we had a really nice landing. The wind was great, and so he tapped my shoulder, and I was able to just stand. We both stood up together.
Yeah.
Same with me.
Yeah.
Same.
Yeah, I'm the same. Like it was a pretty simple landing. Like at that point, we could literally just talk to each other because you can hear each other more towards the end of the towards the end. So it was pretty good. But straight afterwards, I went for a 2-hour sleep because I was tired. And I think that's maybe because of having IBD as well. Like because it can make people more tired and stuff like that. And I was hungry. I don't know about you guys. If you were like starving after it.
Drinks, food, that's it for me. That's all I needed. Like a good beverage and good food afterwards. Lucky it was on a Sunday when I'd done it. So roast, there you go.
Yeah.
It makes sense with like your adrenaline so high, and then when it crashes, you're gonna be really tired and feel just wiped. I was surprised how cold it was. How about you guys?
Mine was in the summer. It was August 2018, of course. So obviously I was supposed to have done it end of July 2018, but due to the conditions, like it was too windy, because of course safety comes first, they delayed it for a week and eventually got to do it at the beginning of August in 2018. So it was in the summer right here in the UK.
Yeah.
I was in Florida, so it was October in Florida, so it's pretty warm still. But up high, it's cold. So like I felt like as we were going up in the plane, I was like, okay, it's getting colder and colder.
Yeah, I did mine in January. First time I did, I kind of felt that way, but I had a long sleeve, and I had the skydiving suit, kind of kept me warm.
Yeah. I actually felt pretty warm for me. I didn't really feel cold. Maybe because I did it in September before the winter kind of started and everything. But like yeah, I think you feel maybe a bit of a breathe maybe when you're going down for your free fall, because you're going very fast. You don't realize it doesn't like when you're doing it, it doesn't feel like you're going as fast as actually you are.
Yeah, the second time I did it was April. It was pretty warm. Although
Yeah.
it's still breezy a lot,
Exactly.
Also, one thing about skydiving is that they don't let you go up there when it's like stormy or when it's raining or something. They really take the weather very seriously. The first time I had to wait a while until they said it was clear when the sun, and also they don't go up when it's all cloudy because if you can't see the ground up there, they won't go up there.
If it's too windy, you're right there, Ryan. If it's too windy, they don't allow you to do it, especially with like clouds as you had as well there, Mason, as well, which is quite kind of like a thing. They know their weather, and they try to tell you at least 24 hours before you're due to do the whole skydiving thing beforehand, so that you know if it's postponed or you got to do it again. It's another date.
Yeah.
The good thing is they reschedule it for you when they can.
Yeah, you kind of expect like it to potentially not happen on the day, which I was fortunate because it did get brighter throughout the day. But there's lots of waiting. You have to be prepared, like when you go, not to like as soon as you're suited up and everything. After you go through like your F1 briefing kind of thing. And then after all that's kind of done, like they especially told me it's not like a roller coaster, like it's not that kind of concept, because a roller coaster you can just put your hands up and like you have a responsibility as well as the instructor does. Like it's not all like fun for us, although it is. Just like getting told things, don't pull this strap, but something will go off, or that will disrupt it. So it is it's important that I think that's one of the most important things, that like just getting all the information in. Yeah.
It is. That's the thing. You got to get all the information in, and especially like all the briefing, as you rightly pointed out there. Obviously, the amount of times doing go-karting right here in this country as well, they brief you before they even send you out on track. But with this, don't have the proper briefing, they don't take you. Simple as that. And the thing is, weight as well, another factor, because they tell you you've got to be a certain weight before they can pair you up with that particular guide if you're doing tandem.
Yeah, you've got to be a certain weight to do it. And like, because it like with like doing it, that there's always a risk. And I had to get like a note signed by I had to pay to get a private like doctor and stuff, because my personal one, they didn't want to do it in case something happened to me because of like of my Crohn's and stuff, which which I understand, but it was took longer to get it done. And the person who did it for me said, I've done it many of times, like there's always going to be a risk factor, but like which is understandable, but as long as you get that kind of consent form kind of thing done and all like the rules, it's okay. But it is quite hard to do that kind of stuff, I think. So with your skydives, did you get was everyone's filmed?
Oh yeah, they make you pay extra for getting filmed and pictures, but it was worth it. And they also give you a certificate for doing it for the first time.
Yeah, I got that.
Mine was filmed and I haven't got a certificate. They ended up getting a t-shirt on, which I'm not wearing it right now, but I have got a t-shirt to say I've done it.
I'm glad to be wearing mine.
Yeah, you got yours on, so you can showcase it, Ryan.
Yeah, I already showed it from the front and the back.
Yeah.
I was just thinking we should all send each other clips and maybe post some to our stories so everybody can see a little clip of the video. I was in 2005, so I'm glad that they had the technology. I was probably pretty new at that time, but we actually got really good video of it going down. And like my dad jumped when I was little, and he doesn't have any like good video of him. They used to jump where they would actually like stack up in canopies and stuff, where they'd go in a group and do all those formations. And so he's got some pictures of it, but no videos.
Well, my videos are actually 20 to 25 minutes long, but I have them on my YouTube channel. I can send you the links to them.
Yeah. I've got my video on my Facebook profile anyway, so that's where I've got mine anyway, and I've put it in a specific album in Facebook so people can find it easier, as opposed to like scrolling down and going like, oh, where is it? Ah, there you go.
Yeah, it's both on my Facebook and my YouTube.
Yeah. We'll have to share it with each other, or like after, maybe not today.
On the message thread on Instagram.
Yeah. We'll find a way to show each other our kind of experiences, won't we? It is quite cool though, like when you're actually in the air and you see your camera person in front of you, like especially in the free fall bit, and then you've actually you're gliding, but it's almost like you stopped in a way, because she stopped right in front of, or he.
Oh yeah.
And then it's quite funny. That bit.
I thought it was funny because you're like trying to smile, but your face is just being pulled by the wind so crazy. And so you're like, it looks ridiculous, but it was really fun.
Yeah. That's the fun thing, like smiling, but then you got to feel like, yes, I'm enjoying it. It's that simple. And then you're like, yeah.
Yeah, like I was still holding on at that point, because I was that concentrating on the free fall bit, like just looking down and everything. I was still holding on, and I didn't know whether I should have let go yet, but I let go at the end of the free fall, but I still held on. So if I did it again, that's the one thing I would do differently. Like I'll let go sooner, just so for the pictures I could be gliding like Superman and stuff like that.
No, that's as simple as that. It was just like free falling, and then you're like, when you get to the ground, it's like, oh, I want to do it again. Come on.
Yeah, it's like it's interesting because like you speak to your instructor or current person, and they say how many times they've done it. Like I remember one saying like over 4,000 or for 3,000, I think. And then they go straight after they've done us. They're up on the plane again.
With other people,
Yeah.
with new people doing it. So
Yeah.
that's how they do it.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. Like I remember I got like a bus back to where like to get back where you started off. Like you could walk, but I didn't have the energy to walk back. I was too tired. But like skydiving is I think you can do it in the dark as well. You know, like people do it in the dark.
Yeah, sometimes. Yeah.
Yeah, so sometimes, yeah.
Again, depending on weather, but obviously it can happen.
Yeah, like I guess that'd be hard. Like it'd be harder, but it wouldn't be it won't be a best of view if it's really dark.
No, it wouldn't be. That's why it's better to do it in the daytime.
Yeah,
Always.
Probably more dangerous too.
yeah, it is more dangerous, and like in the daytime you have a better view. You can look above you. Like it's kind of cool when you're gliding, and now you can look at other people who are doing it down after you or before.
If anyone's listening that's scared of heights, I do encourage you to still do it if it's something that you're at all like wanting to challenge yourself to do. Honestly, the height factor is because you're so high. I feel like you don't even really register what's happening. It kind of all looks like a map versus like if you're up in a tall tree or something where you can actually perceive how close and how far you are to the ground. This is just, it feels out of this world. So it's not really something that I think height, would, if you're scared of heights normally, that would bother you. What
Yeah.
do you guys think?
Yeah, sometimes you just gotta take a leap of faith. And as they say in the Magic School Bus, take chances, get messy, make mistakes, and just go with the flow.
I'd agree with you actually there that even if you're afraid of heights there, take that risk. Really try and channel your fears, because there's people out there generally scared of heights that think, oh no, what am I going to do? Am I going to be safe? And then you are safe when you actually do this, because they tell you, brief you, you're definitely safe. Go out there and channel your fears and try and do so, because that can help you down the line.
Yeah, it's something that you probably all those years ago, you wouldn't think you'd be doing this. You wouldn't think you would have jumped out of a plane. But it's good that you can say you can, and then people who are maybe a bit frightened of it, that they'll say to you, I imagine for all of us, when we did do our skydives, you'd have got a person say to you, can't believe you're doing that. Like you're jumping out of a plane. What are you doing?
Like Ryan, you're jumping out of a perfectly good airplane.
Well, my mum in particular was like, you seriously want to jump out of a plane? And I'm like, yep, there you go. Bam.
Yeah. Like I was the same. Like I think like family, like of all of us get kind of worried as well. Like I guess that people fear like 50-50, like something gonna happen on the way down, which I was actually told at the briefing that they have an extra parachute, but if that don't work or something happens, they have an automatic one more nearer to the ground where that can automatically go up, and so you're not just going down. But if you're maybe unconscious, that automatic one would take place.
Oh, that usually does anyway, because they have to look at safety grounds as well for medical reasons, of course.
Yeah. But I don't think any of us needed a second or a third parachute, so we all did it first time.
No, first parachute.
Yeah.
Yeah, parachute. You do need a parachute.
Yeah. What I did when I was, because I was first out, and it was quite funny because I see everyone behind me looking, and then I'm going, "Zzz," and then you like that, and then when I hit my instructor asked me, "Are you ready to go?" I said, "No, I'm not ready. I'm not ready." It was like you're up there, and then you open the door, and you say you're ready, and then I say I go, and then like of course as you all know, you've got to put your neck back and your shoulders like that, and like depending on where he wants your arms to go, I think every instructor's different. I think it might be like that, or there is another kind of way you can do that. And what I did I looked as soon as, because you got to put your legs on dangle, don't you? You got to
Yeah,
dangle
you
your
do.
legs, and at that point, I did not look down. I looked straight until he said to put the head down and into properly in position where I did look down, because I would have been more nervous looking down straight away than doing it right. So I think that maybe be the hardest part of the skydive. I would say is probably the start, where you're getting into position. But once you've conquered that, you're ready to go.
Looking out, that's the thing. They tell you to look out rather than look down, because obviously rightly said there, if you look down and you're scared of heights, it's not going to help. Yeah, conquer your fears. Look out is conquering your fears. And yes, you're right, legs dangling. But one thing they do is they have a little light above the plane exit as well, where you're actually pulled on, because it tells you red you can't, the instructor can't go, green they can go, and they have to follow that light.
Yeah, because like as soon as you're there dangling, you've got your camera person dangling on the plane right next to you, which I didn't see because I'm more focused on myself than looking at the camera person, which you do anyway. And then after the when the freefall stopped and you're just gliding, and the parachute opens, the first thing I said to my instructor is, where's the camera person? She's gone." He said, and then my instructor says, "Oh, she's already on the ground." And I said, "She's already on the ground? I just saw her like a few seconds ago." And that's what I found funny. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't have any video. Once we opened our chute, the camera person, falls at different speeds than you do. So I don't have any video of the intermediate under parachute until we got back towards the ground.
Yeah. I think the best part actually of any of the videos is the last bit when you actually land on the ground, because they see your reaction after you've done it. And I remember what I've done. The first thing I said, like I got asked like, would I do it again? And I said maybe not tomorrow or next week or even this year, but I'll do it again. Maybe not soon, but I will do it. I would like to do it again.
Instant reaction, yes, I'd said I would do it again afterwards. So even like they sometimes, if you have it videoed, they ask you before why you're doing it as well, because that's the thing they ask you if you have it videoed as well.
Yeah. And I did get a certificate as well at the end. And then before I even done it, I got a few skydiving tops just to kind of promote me doing it and stuff. And then I got one I fell out of a plane as well, which it's good. It's good for memories. And then you can kind of say, look at me, I've done it, and I got a voucher to do it again if I wanted to.
That's cool.
It's nice.
Yeah. But with a bungee, and like because you've done a skydive, Mariah, what would you say like the fear of a bungee jump is?
Like I said, I like extreme things, and I guess one thing that helps me when I'm kind of getting ready for something like that is I feel like you have so much greater chance of dying in a car accident every day that these kind of things don't scare me, because that's the scary part, is driving to work every single day. So bungee jumping was another thing to tackle, and different in the sense of you do have that perception of depth. So they said that most people I did it on a bridge, and so most people get to like the edge of the bridge where you actually have to climb over the edge of the bridge, and they're like, that's where you hit that wall, and just like people freak out. But I climbed over, I was good. I looked down because my husband was actually filming down below. So I looked down and waved and stuff, and I don't mind it at all. They actually said something really funny in the beginning. They were like, after you get done, we always check to see how shaky you are afterwards because your adrenaline gets so high. So if you aren't shaky, you're like a psychopath because you just are so like adrenaline pumped. And so I got back from the bungee. I definitely yelled on that one. It's pretty rough. Way different than skydiving. Skydiving, I feel like, was pretty smooth throughout, but this one you're like actually bouncing in the harness. And then coming back up, I put my hands out and I was like solid, no shaking at all. And they're like, oh, so I don't know. I might have
Adrenaline junkie on the way there.
Yeah. I can understand the totally different that is, because it's something I want to do as well, but I'd want to do it maybe not in England. I would want to do it abroad because I don't think there's better views of over here, like for maybe bungee jumping. But there are some good places, but it's something that I'd like to do. It sounds fun, like with I'm a Celebrity there, Aston, like they do that quite a bit on there, so as for the skydiving.
Skydiving at the beginning, and sometimes they do bungee jumping, of course, but then that's the fun part of watching the program for entertainment value for us lot.
Yeah. And another thing, like it kind of like that stuff I want to do in Wales. They have, I think, one of the fastest, the fastest zip line in the UK. So I want to do that at some point. Because
that'd be really cool.
Yeah,
That'd be epic. That.
Yeah, it looks pretty good. Like it looks scary as well because you're forward, like you're like laying forward on it, and then it goes, and then I think a bungee jump and a zip wire is probably maybe more scarier or than a skydive, because especially a tandem, because you're supported, and more with that you're doing it by yourself, or like with a bungee jump you're in the harness, but you got someone supporting you at the top, but it's more kind of scarier, I think, maybe.
I will say too, I was in the middle of my IBD at that point as well, and it was a 10-mile hike round trip at the place I did it in Los Angeles. And so my concern was more, how am I going to eat throughout the day? You know, it's a full day venture, and where am I going to go to the bathroom if I need to? And all those things were going through my head. So that was probably the biggest stress for me, more than the jump. But
Yeah.
it worked.
Yeah. So so many more adventures that we could be doing. Like a skydive is just the first off the list, and like you say, you could like you had the experience before that you was diagnosed with IBD and Mariah, and then you've done maybe a bungee jump now, like afterwards, so you can kind of tell maybe like I think it's really good when you speak things like that, like with a chronic illness, how things are and that people can do them and stuff, but like because it doesn't stop you from having fun.
For sure. I'm hoping to go paragliding next. We have really good cliffs here in San Diego where a lot of people paraglide. So
Yeah.
Hey, I hope to go hang gliding sometimes because I love flying.
Well,
Yeah.
flying
cool.
heights, I would love to do anything. Like as you said, like you've done bungee jumping, paragliding, hang gliding. I would love to do that down the line. But I think someone would kill me if I ever said that.
Yeah. For your little secret. Before we finish, Ashton, do you want to show us your trophy?
Give me a chance, yeah.
Yeah.
Don't you can see, because it might be, it's not as big as you see it on the telly, but people think it's big, but it actually, if you don't, you can see for what you see on the telly. But I thought it was going to be big, but it's actually that size.
It's pretty it looks like a candle a little bit.
It's kind of like that, but you can have to say that some people, it's very rare to get one of these anyway, because they're on it for up to 3 shows now, apparently. Because it used to be where they had to go on it 2 shows, but now it's 3 shows. Because when we went to film it, it was in the midst of a 3rd lockdown, of course, in the UK. So there was no audience members when we done it. We could have had a tour of Elstree, but unfortunately COVID, of course. So we had to go through like COVID checks, like a lateral flow to get on, and that was it really. And waiting. Suddenly, when they said we was filming, it was like, thank God. Glad to be filming it.
Yeah, like and you won, so it's good that
The proof is in the pudding.
yeah, you got your trophy there to prove it, and like it's good because pointless is hard, like isn't it? Like to answer the questions and stuff.
Oh, especially when you have to answer questions on categories you don't know what you don't know you're really good at, really. Especially the last one. Especially, you think it was the head-to-head one. Some people were like, "How did I know? How did someone know this one?" Like that on the head-to-head question. It was like Desert Island Discs, Dames, etc. And one of the pictures was up, and I was like, "Got an idea of that could be, yeah." And it was like, and they was like, "How?" Yeah. Afterwards, when they actually watched it, and then the final one, we had a Magnificent Seven type actors question, yeah, but we had to name films post the first Magnificent Seven film that involved either three of the actors in question, and I knew one of them was in Monsters Inc. As a voice that played the crab type monster.
Yeah.
And I got asked this 2 or 3 days later, and they said, How did I know that person was in Monsters Inc? It was like it pays to watch a lot of Disney films.
Definitely, I completely agree, and it looks like you have really good fun. So, congratulations, Aston.
Yeah.
Cheers.
So I think it's about time for us to wrap up.
Well,
It's been so nice to meet you guys, but I'm really excited to watch some episodes now. I want to watch.
Me too.
I don't know if it's on YouTube, but I know it had been on BBC iPlayer, but I don't know if it is on YouTube now. But probably have to search for it anyway. Yeah. It was the 26th series, but the first 2 episodes.
Yeah, it should be on BBC iPlayer, but I don't know. In America, they don't have that, so probably YouTube's the best bet to.
At least some clips.
Yeah. Well, everyone, it's been great speaking to you about skydiving experiences. And yeah, I'm glad. I hope you've all had a good time.
Yeah, we did.
We did.
Everyone go out and jump.
Yeah, everyone
go out and jump, everyone. Even if you've got a fear of heights, do it.
Definitely. Well, I hope everyone has a nice, happy New Year, Merry Christmas. Said that the wrong way around, but there we go.
Okay.
Well, I hope you all have a nice rest of your evening, everyone, and thank you very much to talk about.
No problem, Mason. Let's talk again sometime.
Definitely.
Thank you, Mason.
Thank you, Aston. Thank you, Ryan, and thanks, Mariah.
Thanks.
Okay.
Thank you.